What is going on? We are back live on Sunday. It's been a long hiatus for Mac and I, but here we are answering every single question today. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. We've got Griff, Easy, we got a lot of guys, Daniel, another Eric, Scotty, producer Scott coming in here. New father, producer Scott, coming in here. So
congratulations,
either way, Mac, we are answering every single question today. We've got some top starts, set decisions, some news to get into. But Mac, how are you doing? Are you excited for this fantasy season?
I've never felt more purpose in my life than I have today. NFL football's back. It just feels right. It feels like I've got something to look forward to today. I'm excited. It's looking to be a very interesting Sunday, a very interesting start to the season. We got a lot of guys trending out, unfortunately, surprise outs. We've got some weather that we've got to discuss on the East Coast here. So yeah, the 1 o'clock games are going to be very intriguing. I'm fired up to see what some of these new teams look like, and some of these rookies. I want eyes on Bijan Robinson at 1 o'clock.
Oh, I can't wait to watch the rookies, man. We got, exactly. Bijan. We have Jackson Smith, who broke his hand and is going to play. Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers. A lot of excitement around these guys. Mac and I mean, we've added so many leagues this offseason. We've got too many leagues almost now. A lot of lineups to manage. Draft season is so much fun, but now it gets down to the nitty gritty.
Really should transition some of these into just straight best ball, but you love the waiver wire, you love tinkering, you love these last minute start sits, which is why most of you are here with us. You want some advice, and we're gonna do our best to get you right for week 1. So let's chat about some of these last minute inactives. The one that pops up to me is Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is officially out for week 1. You maybe came to the stream with Mark Andrews in mind. Kind of sucks. You paid up for Kelsey and Andrews in your redraft leagues in the first or second round, and now you're kind of going, I got to stream for week 1. And I think the answer is probably pretty close to home. It's like you go with Isaiah Likely. He's probably on your waiver wire. The game script is very positive for the Ravens against Houston, but the weather could present some issues today. There is a forecast of thunderstorms and heavy rain in the basically entirety of the East Coast, from Washington up to Philadelphia, essentially all up that coast. You're really looking at some heavy weather. So we'll see. But I think you go Mark Andrews, you just pivot to Isaiah Likely, and it's, you wash your hands and away you go.
And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions about that. We also have George Kittle and Darren Waller banged up and injured. They are expected to play, which is great, but it just leaves that little bit of doubt. You went stud tight end early, and it might not feel great week 1, but I would put Likely as almost a must start. Yes, I understand you wanted to start your studs, but if it's a question between Njoku, Ingram, Juwan Johnson, Gerald Everett, I'm going to start Likely over all these guys. I think Tyler Higbee is a really nice start this week without Cooper Kupp at Seattle. Again, it could be. I'm not sure what's the weather like in Seattle. Is it supposed to be okay? You said
Seattle's
the East Coast
fine.
Is tough.
East Coast is tough. West Coast looks good though.
Okay. But either way, it might be a headache. Y'all might be pulling out your hair trying to figure out this tight end position. But either way, we're here to help you out. What do you figure about this news with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren splitting carries, Mac? Are you buying into this? Does this kind of put Najee Harris down in your rankings at all? And would you actually start Jalen Warren week 1? Because you probably don't have to.
No, I wouldn't start him week 1, but you're going to monitor the situation. You want to know what the touches look like. Are they splitting carries, or are they splitting targets? Because that's going to be the key difference for me with Najee Harris. Is Najee still going to profile as the third down pass catching back like we saw with Big Ben in his rookie year? Or is Jalen Warren just going to truly absorb a 50-50 workload or a 60-40 split no matter the scenario? So I'm more interested to see about the personnel groupings for them.
Yeah, the nightmare scenario is kind of drive for drive. One drive, it's Najee. The next drive, it's Jalen Warren. That's not what we want to see if we're a Najee Harris owner. But as a reminder for everyone, toss a like on this video. We appreciate everyone in. We do get to every single question. So be specific. Who do you have to pick from? How big your league is? What are the scoring settings? Anything can help you. We do answer every single question. So what's up? You got Cat's Pajamas, Brandon Phillips, DMB, Albert, Jeff, Stu. Great to see you guys again. We got Brian in the chat. Thanks for coming in, guys. We really appreciate y'all sticking through. We were really quiet this off season, but we're coming back this week. Kind of full content going, lots of videos up on the channel. Share this with your friends. Again, we do like having this live stream every Sunday. So we're going to try to do our best to do every Sunday we can. But again, life gets in the way, guys. So either way, week 1, we're full bore.
Just to provide some clarity on the weather situation, Ravens, these are all the teams that are hosting today. Ravens, Steelers, Commanders, Bears, Patriots, and Giants on the East Coast, all in danger of delay with thunderstorms or heavy rain. And then the other team that is in more West Coast, not all the way on the coast, but the Broncos, there is a chance of thunderstorms as well for the Raiders-Broncos game. So, I mean, week 1 is kind of that tough week where you temper expectations on weather because we really don't have a good lay of the land yet, and you kind of just have to start your studs regardless of the situation. I'm not going to read too much into the weather, but yeah, you can't just roll out, Quentin Johnston, for example, who plays a really nice sunny game in Los Angeles in a dome. You can't roll him out over, say, Terry McLaurin. You just can't make that move with a potential for weather. It just doesn't make sense. We just don't know enough yet to make those recommendations. But I before we pivot and get to questions, I wanted to go through some more ins and outs. So we know that Christian Watson is out for the Green Bay Packers. We thought that Romeo Doubs was also going to be out, but he's actually going to be on a snap count today. So expected to play, but temper your expectations for him. I think the Packers are going to go heavy run game today against the 28th ranked Chicago Bears run defense. Darren Waller, you are going to play if he suits up. Same with George Kittle. Devon Achane is out for the Dolphins. So we're going to see a heavy bout of Raheem Mostert and probably Salvin Ahmed as well there.
I quite like Mostert this. I quite like Mostert this week. I will start him with a good bit of confidence. I think it's going to be it's a nice game script, high over under. It's he should have most of that work.
Ramondre Stevenson was on the injury report with an illness, but he is expected to play today. So that's another backfill I'm going to. Pardon?
I think you're talking Kendre Miller. Sorry, Ramondre. Sorry,
Ramondre Stevenson.
I don't know why I heard Kendre Miller. You said Ramondre.
I said Ramondre.
Yeah.
That's another backfill I'm going to really be looking into. Like, is Zeke rolled out for red zone work inside the 5? Is he, the one that punches it in and takes away those high value touches? Like, these are things that we really have to pay attention to, and not injury related, but the same thing with the Eagles. Who gets the primary touches? Is it Rashad Penny? Is it DeAndre Swift? Or is it just a trio of, him and Gainwell and maybe even Boston Scott? I don't know. But it's going to be a very interesting carousel there. I hope DeAndre Swift emerges, but you just never know.
It's going to be a bit of a mess.
Let's get to questions.
Right, what do you think? What do you think is going on in the Seattle backfield? Actually, before we depart from a little bit of questionables.
Ken Walker was off the injury report, so he's good to go.
Okay, I do.
It was
think
looking like it might be the Charbonnet experience for week 1, but it's probably going to be a committee approach.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
I think it's going to be too. Yeah. All right, let's get to the questions. Like you said, up at the top, we have Griff coming in here, Snap Army member. Same with Eric coming in, really supporting the show. If you want to support the show, a couple ways you can do that. You can subscribe to the channel. And really all it is just to, be a part of the private Discord group and support us working every single week, coming at you, asking or answering every single question. So if you want to support the show, it's a great way to do it. Or there's super chat features today. And if you want your question answered first, you don't want to wait around, hang out with the guys, get a super chat in there, and we'll get to your questions first.
All right, let's go with Rames, Lara, Swift, Pickens, or Gibson at the flex.
I would go George Pickens there with that question, Rames. So
I would as well. I think Swift is very tempting for me this week because I do believe in him, and everything that I saw with how Dan Campbell handled Jahmyr Gibbs kind of speaks more confidence into DeAndre Swift for me. It's like, it's not the quality of the player, it's just the misuse of the player, unfortunately, in Detroit for fantasy reasons. But I think DeAndre Swift is going to smash. I think he's going to be great, but I'm not going to shy away from George Pickens. So
he looked
I'm with
really
Lando.
good this preseason.
He really did. Yeah, making highlight catches left, right, and center. We do have our first super chat of the day. Thanks, Paz. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be back too. It's going to be a fun season. Full PPR, Swift or Gibson. I would roll Swift here.
Yeah, I do think that Brian Robinson is going to lead the backfield for Washington. It's a great matchup against Arizona. Maybe both running backs for Washington can produce, but I think Swift should get a good bit of work there in Philadelphia. It's both these players are talented, Paz. It's truly closer to a coin flip than anything, but I do believe in the talent of DeAndre Swift, and I hope that Philadelphia uses him properly. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a bit of a mess. Don't watch.
For me personally, like, you go to the age old like upside versus floor. I think there's like almost no floor for Gibson. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he's just relegated to change of pace work, to third down work. Like, if Brian Robinson got 18 carries, you'd be like, okay, yeah, kind of not surprised.
Yeah, Gibson did come out and say that he's been relegated to the McKissick role in Washington, and that's not worth nothing.
No, it's not worth nothing.
It's definitely a pass catching role. I know you did say PPR league, but it might be
if the game script lends itself to that, which it probably doesn't.
It probably doesn't. It's probably going to be the Brian Robinson show there. You're right.
I also go with like which team is potentially going to put up more points. Yeah, and I'm like, the Eagles are probably going to make more trips to the red zone. Like, I'm just going to get more exposure to that. So
more implied
I think that's
points.
where I'm at. Yeah.
DeAndre Swift's a very talented player. And I think if he shows that explosiveness and if he shows what he did in Detroit in limited time, he will stay on the field.
Mm-hmm. Drum Master 1. Appreciate it, Paz. Affected by Kupp's injury, now I have an open flex position. Should I start Marvin Mims, Jonathan Mingo, or bet on Ezekiel Elliott? This is a 0.5 point per reception league.
It's a tough one. I've talked to Mac about this when we're drafting, and if you're starting Zeke, you're hoping on the touchdowns, and it's going to be a tough go against Philadelphia. That defense is very, very good. Mims is a very talented receiver. Jerry Jeudy is going to be limited at best this week. It's a pretty good matchup against Las Vegas. You're starting a rookie never feels good. It's between Mims and Zeke for me. I'm not super confident with Mingo with a rookie quarterback at behind center. So, man, I think floor play is going to be Zeke, and you hope he gets in the end zone. And then your ceiling play, your big long touchdown, kind of the Rashee Rice touchdown, is going to be Mims for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mims here just because of them not being able to roll out Javonte Williams with absolute certainty. I think they're going to have to maybe position themselves away from the run a little bit and throw a bit more. We know that Jerry Jeudy is not at full capacity, so it really leaves like some question marks in the offense. And who knows what Sean Payton's got up his sleeve, but maybe it's a downfield connection to Marvin Mims. It's like he's a player that only needs one play for you to make the play worthwhile on the week. Zeke is much of the same. I just don't know that the Patriots are going to be able to get themselves in the red zone enough against the Eagles. And the Patriots do surprise me from time to time. Every time you think they're bad, they're not. But I don't know. I don't know that I'm willing to play Zeke.
I'm personally super surprised that we haven't seen news of Jerry Jeudy being ruled out. I thought his injury looked like a long-term, missing a month kind of injury, but
I'd be shocked if he played, honestly.
I agree. I'd be shocked if he played. So Mims does definitely gets a boost there. So yeah, I think Mims is a good play.
Eric, welcome back to you as well. Got a couple here: Deion Jackson or Javonte Williams, and then Elijah Moore, Deion Jackson, or Gibson in another. I'm going to keep this very short and sweet. I think it's Deion Jackson in both situations.
Yeah, I know we're all a little bit excited about Elijah Moore being involved and Watson really taking a step forward. Elijah Moore didn't fit well with New York. But yeah, I think Deion Jackson should get the first look in Indianapolis. It's
there's just nobody else there. Like Zach Moss, I believe, is out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yes. Yeah, it's gonna be Evan Hall, right? Between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would honestly be very tempted to go with Javonte Williams if the news hadn't been we're going to hold him back. If he was out there and there was no broadcasted plan of tempering his touches, then I would be like, yeah, Javonte Williams for sure. Like, he's trended really well. He's looked great. He's recovered from his ACL, MCL, LCL sprain last year. So yeah, I would say that, but we don't have that confidence. So I'm going to go with Deion Jackson. You good? Hello? You good?
Can't hear you right now. I'm just reconnecting my headphones.
All right, I'll keep going. All right, Daniel coming through. New season, same good channel. Appreciate that. Greetings from Japan. Need help with my flex. Khalil Herbert, Brian Robinson, or Deontay Johnson. I am going to go with Deontay Johnson here in a half PPR. Even a full PPR would be better, but even in a half PPR, I think the volume for Deontay stays much of the same. Hopefully he can break that touchdown drought. Did not score a touchdown last year, which is wild, but absorbed a lot of targets. Go with your possession receiver in week 1. Khalil Herbert, I'd like to see him get the carries, but that's another situation that I'm going to be paying attention to today. Do they roll Khalil Herbert with volume, or do they rely on other pieces like Deonta Foreman or Rashawn Johnson, rookie running back in Chicago? So let's see what happens there.
I agree. Deontay with confidence. Second option would be Herbert. I'm back.
Daniel's a second question here. Another league: DJ Moore, Jahan Dotson, or Deion Jackson. I would play DJ Moore.
I think I'm buying the hype of Jahan Dotson. I'm excited to see what he can do. There's a lot of people that are projecting him to be the wide receiver 1 in Washington over Terry McLaurin. But yeah, I might go Jahan Dotson there a little bit over DJ Moore. But I'm excited to see the usage and how much if Fields can take a step forward this year, get that passing up, where the targets should go to DJ Moore. But yeah, I'm going.
My only counterpoint here is that I don't want to have to rely on an unknown commodity in Sam Howell week 1. Because Dotson may be great. He might be a great route runner and create a lot of separation and command targets, but what is the quality of target?
I don't. Preseason, it looked. I mean, all reports are saying that Sam Howell looks great, but
we also know in preseason that in preseason the first team that you face is not the first team that you play in an NFL week 1 game.
Absolutely right.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Sam Howell. I'm just stating that I know that a screen pass of 12 yards from center to the hash or the edge, that can go 60 yards if Justin Fields just gets it. I mean, we saw it in the preseason. We saw DJ Moore house one. It's like it doesn't take much to get him the ball. And Justin Fields is good enough I know what he is. I don't have to guess. So I would personally lean DJ Moore. I think Landon's going to roll Dotson, but you make your decision, Daniel, based on kind of our analysis there.
We have a shout out request from longtime member Eric Zubert.
Hey,
He would like us to shout out his guy Rob got married last night to his longtime girlfriend. I just want to wish them a congratulations on behalf of the Snap and Eric. Congrats, guys. Mac and I were both at weddings last night, actually. So
yeah.
Hopefully the celebrations were great. You're not feeling too rough this morning, but either way, congratulations on your marriage.
I'll also say congratulations to longtime listener of the show, Chelly Darton, Mr. Brad. Congrats on the wedding. It was great. They hosted it at their home, their brand new home. Nice setup, tent, pool, hot tub. They had a company come in and do wood-fired pizzas for late night. Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. So congrats to Brad and Courtney. Congrats to Rob and his partner. And congrats to Eric, member for 24 months, 2 years.
Appreciate the support, my guy.
Let's go. Let's see. We had, I was down the chat just a little bit. So I'm glad to have us back. We're stoked
Stuart
for those.
Rose.
Heck yeah. Let's go to Stuart. If my memory serves me correct, Stuart is across the pond. So it's late. Might be dinner time. Got Henry and Jacobs at running back. Nice duo. Also have a DK, Godwin, and Debo at wide receiver. Should I, and if so, how do I put Jahan Dotson in my lineup? I wouldn't put Jahan Dotson in over those three.
I think I'm good exactly where you're at. Eventually, we'll see the combination of Baker Mayfield at quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks. But I do think this game especially is going to be a big high scoring game against the Vikings. It should be a good game for Mike Evans, Godwin, and company. Should be a lot of fun to watch. I'm starting Godwin with a fair bit amount of confidence where I have him. If he does have a great game, I'm completely on board with trying to shop Godwin, getting some good value. Your team looks awesome as it is, Stuart, but with Debo, DK, and those two running backs, you're looking really, really nice.
I do have faith in Chris Godwin. I really do. I think
you always have. You've been a Godwin truther for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, I think the talent is still there. I think he's, just like what Deontay Johnson is for the Steelers. Like, he's the possession guy. Baker might not always take those shots, but he's going to be, I think, the safety blanket that is maybe needed. And he was if you drafted on Sleeper, he was going in like the 6th or 7th round. It felt like the biggest value, on the board. So I'm not down on Godwin. I think maybe if it doesn't play out the way that we think, that you could maybe play Dotson over Godwin. But if Godwin can see, this typical 8 to 10 targets, even on short yardage, I'd still feel happy with him in a PPR league.
Yeah, it was a tough year last year for Godwin. Tons of passing work for Tom Brady and company, just all super short yardage. Not a lot of value touches there.
751 passing attempts, I believe.
And for Godwin to be not very good for most of the year. And same with Mike Evans. Both those guys were fringe, not playable, depending on your other options most of the year.
We have seen Godwin and Evans both be very fantasy relevant with poor quarterback play. If you recall the year that Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, like, they were wide receivers 2 and 3. So it's not.
Yeah, you
need volume. You need them
volume
to be down in a lot of games, and I think they will.
And I do think they will too. I don't expect the Buccaneers defense to be any good.
Also, real quick, sleeper pickup for next week. I'm already going to shout it out. Sean Tucker. I don't know that Rachaad White gets the bulk of the carries. I think there might be a shared workload, and who knows what the personnel groups look like closer to the goal line. But I'm just going to throw it out there. I think Sean Tucker might be a sneaky ad for week 2.
Love it. Add him now before next week.
Yeah. Jeff comes in. PPR says he's got the worst squad in the game. Pick 2 between P. Ryan, Myers, Likely, Bateman, and at QB we've got Kirk or Tua. Okay.
So I would go Tua over Kirk Cousins. I think you want the full upside. If your team isn't great, you want to have a chance to throw 5 touchdowns, and Tua can do that with the weapons that he has in a projected extremely high over-under game against the Chargers. Kirk's going to be good. I think it's probably second or third as far as over-unders, but I'm not. Kirk's going to be very safe, but Tua's got the upside.
The nice thing is that you don't have to worry about weather with either Kirk or Tua. So I would go with Tua personally, but I think both are good options. Probably QB1 options this week. Ryan Myers, likely, or Bateman. Typically, if I don't have to start a tight end over a running back or a wide receiver, I wouldn't. However,
I was wondering if there was gonna be a but or however in that reply.
I'm not sure what to expect from Bateman. I'm really not. And we've seen it. We've seen success. Yeah, we've seen success with likely when he's had to fill the Mark Andrews role in the past. Myers is interesting, but with a new team, I don't know. Like, does Hunter Renfrow absorb a lot of targets from Derek Carr? Is it just the Devontae Adams show? Do they utilize Michael Mayer and Austin Hooper? Like, who knows what that looks like too? I think there's a lot of uncertainty. I want to go on week 1 with what I know. And what I know is that Likely has filled the role for Mark Andrews. So I would personally pick Likely. And then it comes down to Bateman, Ryan, and Myers. If I'm starting Likely, I'm not starting Bateman. I don't want double exposure and potentially a poor weather game. So what would you do, Landon? Ryan or Myers?
I mean, Ryan, I expected Ryan to be the lead back when news came out that or before the news came out that Javonte was going to be back and starting the game. I thought Ryan was going to be the lead back, and you got great value on him early in the offseason. So, but now
we're saying it's Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yeah, which is odd. I think it's going to be Ryan that gets most of the work in Denver.
Yeah.
I think.
I tend to agree. I tend to agree, honestly. Like, Jacoby Myers is interesting, but I don't know what to expect. And what I do expect is the Denver Broncos to get the ball back onto the ground like Sean Payton likes to do, get Russell Wilson back into a better, flow within the game. So, yeah, I'm going to go Ryan.
I just want to show thanks for everyone coming in. Toss a like on the video. We've got 17 people watching right now. Let's get the likes up. Claire coming in as always. Rob De Niro coming in. We'll get to your questions shortly. We answer every single question, so stay tuned. We'll get to your question, but let's get to Albert first.
Albert saying Christian Kirk or Drake London. This one's close for me.
Here.
Pardon me?
I think I like Kirk here.
I was going to say London.
You were going to go London.
The only reason I go Drake London is, like when he was on the field last year, he commanded a ridiculous target count. And his red zone target share was like 92%. Like, it was outrageous. So Drake London, I think the volume is there. I think Atlanta actually is very positive in the game script today. I'm really excited to watch Bijan, to be honest with you. But Christian Kirk, like, there are question marks. Do they lean on a 2-back approach with ETN and Bigsby? Do they involve Calvin Ridley a ton? They just paid Evan Ingram in the offseason a boatload of money to be their feature tight end, who was great last year. Like, where does Christian Kirk and Zay Jones fall in line when you factor in they paid Evan Ingram, they traded for Calvin Ridley? I don't know. I don't have the same confidence because last year it was the Christian Kirk show out of default. And now it's like, does he still warrant the same attention? Or is it going to be more of a spread approach? I don't know. What I do know is that the consolidation of targets in Atlanta is going to have to be Drake London, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, you are absolutely right in there. There's going to be it's really hard because clearly the passing volume is going to be likely on the Jacksonville side. Now, they could be in a negative game script against Indianapolis if Indy can't move the football, if they can't score. You could see Jacksonville running the ball out um, sooner than we would like. That could be the narrative in Atlanta versus Carolina. It's hard to say. Carolina starting a new quarterback, they might have a hard time moving the ball, but we know Atlanta's defense isn't great. So it could be a more competitive game in Atlanta. That's what we want. We want Atlanta to be down and having to push the ball and score. We don't want them to have to run the ball out with Bijan, whoever is going to get the carries in Atlanta. But it's close. They're both fringe kind of wide receiver twos. Christian Kirk had a really great season. There is a world where he is still the wide receiver one in Jacksonville. Everyone's projecting Calvin Ridley to be that. The quality of targets is better for Christian Kirk, obviously. It's gonna be a tough one. It's a tough one. I haven't been drafting much Drake London at all. I don't have actually any Christian Kirk either. So
I'm just going for the more consolidated approach.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're leaning towards the better offense.
Yeah, I'm going Kirk. You're going London. It's a tough one. It's honestly close to a coin flip, but the talent is better with Drake London. Probably the touchdown upside. Yeah, I don't know.
You'd have to think it's Drake London.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Full PPR, pick one: Madison, Sanders, or Dalvin Cook. Tempted to roll with Cook for the upside, but I know it's not the smart play. I think this is another like situation where we're just like, man, these guys are all in different situations. You know, it's like, is there any weather that we have to avoid potentially? You know, the Bucks game, Bucks Vikings, no. The Panthers game, there's like slight chance of rain, but they are south of the big weather cell that's moving up the East Coast. And then Dalvin Cook plays tomorrow night. I think Dalvin has the much better matchup, and it's likely that he splits with Breece Hall. So to what capacity Breece Hall is involved, I don't know. To what success rate can they actually move the football against the Bills? We also don't know. I'm going to go with probably more volume. And at the end of the day, I think Alexander Madison gets the most volume in the most positive game script. So I'm going to roll Madison over Sanders and Cook.
I agree. I'm interested to see the backfield in New York and how much they use Breece Hall. I do think Dalvin Cook gets in the end zone this week, but projecting
and if you're playing him, I think that's what you're hoping for.
Brandon. You're hoping for that. Exactly right.
Yeah, I think you have to be.
Yeah.
Would we start Najee over any of those guys now that he's splitting carries? Again, I'm not going to say that he's splitting carries until I see he's splitting carries. I would still roll Madison, though.
Yep, I like Madison. Start him with some confidence against Tampa Bay.
Brian coming in full PPR, sit Romeo Doubs or Zach Charbonnet for the flex. I think you have to sit Romeo.
Yeah, I would start Charbonnet in the flex over Romeo Doubs.
If anything happens with Ken Walker on that, is it a hamstring that he's dealing with?
Groin injury,
Groin.
I think.
Soft tissue. You never know when that can be re-aggravated. If there's any chance that he is limited or has to leave, like Charbonnet will get a big dose of work. And in a full PPR, I mean, Charbonnet, they got him because he's a great pass catching back. So I think they're going to try to remove
I have a personal question for you, Max. So I've got Ken Walker starting. I also have Rachaad White currently on the bench.
Walker.
I faced a Amon-Ra St. Brown and I started a Gibbs. So I'm down already. The upside would be with Ken Walker.
Agreed. Yep. Okay. I think no matter what, I'm rolling Ken Walker. If he's healthy and cleared to play, I'm going to play him.
Love it.
Yep. Jeff coming back also in a full PPR. Should I drop Jets defense or stream Jags against Indy? I would not play the Jets against the Bills. Landon did a really good defense video. He's got some intel on what he likes. I mean, obviously I like the Commanders up against the Cardinals, and a secondary play I have this week is the Jags against the Colts. Any other strong ones that stand out to you, Lando?
Yeah, I did have the Jets and Bills at my 11 and or 10 and 11 spot
Mm-hmm.
or a 9 and 10 spot. And it's not basically, I do think they're going to be a relatively high scoring game. It's based on maybe sacks and interceptions. So yeah, that's kind of like the Jets defense has one of the best D lines in the game. And you're hoping that they get after Josh Allen. So I like targeting. Oh, I think I put Indy higher. I definitely I put the Jags higher than those guys. So I think targeting Jags versus a rookie quarterback is a great strategy. So I would go Jags. But it's dropping the defenses, right? It's dropping the Jets, who we know their defense is good. Are you wanting to hang on to them for future weeks?
They have such a hard schedule. Like, it's funny, we were talking last night, the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins all playing each other within division. So, their strength of schedule is already low by default, but then they also pick up out of division games with the Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys, and Ravens. Like,
tough one.
Miami picked up the Ravens, but they all share the Chiefs, Cowboys, and Eagles. Like, though, that's a ridiculously hard schedule. You're not going to want to play the Jets 50% of the time. I'm down with playing a top 5 defense, but not when I have to stomach a top 5 offense on the other side of the ball. So I'm going to just be water and go with the flow and like target the poor teams as much as I can. Target the Cardinals, target the Colts without Jonathan Taylor. Like, I'm going for all that.
Yep. Thanks for everyone coming in. We get to every single question. We've got just over 20 minutes left. We'll get to everyone here. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, we might have to pick it up just a hair to get everybody in here, but we've got non-PPR, so standard league, Higbee or Likely. I'm going to roll Higbee.
I love Higbee this week. I would also go Higbee.
Yeah, he might be in line for 100 plus targets this year.
And Delta Blade also has a tight end question, Likely over Juwan Johnson, right?
Correct.
You do that.
He punted the tight end position, but that's where we're going. Coming back to easy, Musgrave or Chig Okonkwo in a full PPR. I'm going to go with Chig.
Lots of positive sentiments around Musgrave, but I want to see it first. Yeah, go Okonkwo.
Agreed. Mims, Zeke, Isaiah Hodgins in a half PPR. I'm still going Mims over Zeke this week.
Yep, we talked about that earlier.
Pittman Jr. or Pickens at the flex. Oh, I think we got this one in the super chat, but we went Pickens just in case anybody else has a similar.
Yeah, I don't know if he included Pittman in that one.
Doesn't change.
I think I still like Pickens. I can't wait to see Anthony Richardson behind center. Should be a lot of fun, but I don't expect his passing volume to be any good.
Dr. Squatch, glad to see y'all back this year. Got a tough situation for week 1 and a half PPR league. Pick 3 between Addison, Elijah Moore, Jaden Reed, Breece Hall, Zach Charbonnet, Treylon Burks. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I think we can eliminate a few guys. So number 1 for me, even though Christian Watson is out and Romeo Doubs is on a snap count, I'm not going to roll out Jaden Reed.
Correct.
I think this game is a heavy dose of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and then they sprinkle in a couple connections to Reed, Heath, Musgrave, Dontavian, Wicks, maybe. Like, there's going to be a lot of people catching the football.
I can't wait to see Jordan Love, and I know you're looking forward to that game, but it should be a positive. They've got a good matchup. They own Chicago. I want to see him really show out against against Chicago.
From a very reputable source, I got confirmation that Aaron Rodgers, in fact, did leave the deed to Soldier Field on Jordan Love's desk before he left. So, like,
still got that belt. You got it.
It's funny though, the Bears as home favorites opened at 3 points. It's down to a pick 'em now. Like, the money's coming in on the Green Bay side at plus money. And typically Vegas odds, you get 3 for being at home. So what they're saying is it's a neutral game. They don't see the home field as any advantage. So I think this is the 4th time since 2007 that the Packers have opened as underdogs against the Bears. So it's going to be interesting to see. I talked about this with my buddy this morning at length, and it's like bad offense versus bad defense, or good offense versus good defense. Which side
Pretty
do you
much.
like better?
Yeah.
So anyways, for me, I will play Charbonnet, Treylon Burks, and then I got a really tough decision, Breece Hall or Jordan Addison. I am going to roll with Jordan Addison here. I have confidence that he'll be heavily involved this week. Breece Hall, we know he's going to split work with Dalvin Cook, and it might be more of a split than we'd like. So Charbonnet I like for the passing work in the half PPR. Treylon I think is good and ready to go, and then Addison I'm going to take a shot on. Feels wrong to put Breece Hall on the bench this week, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I would start Breece in that scenario, but let's keep on.
Who would
moving
you
to
sit?
Don.
Who would you sit?
I would sit Treylon probably.
So Breece, Charbonnet, and Addison?
Yep.
Where'd you go, Elijah Moore?
I would go Addison.
Okay. Welcome back, fellas. Should I trust Waller or take a chance with Kincaid? This is a full PPR league. I'm going to go with Waller.
I'm sticking with Waller, John.
In standard scoring, we have Gibson or Sutton in the flex. I want to believe in Cortland Sutton so bad, but I'm just not sure I can do it week 1.
Yeah, I'm going Gibson.
Okay, I think so too. Glad to see the snap smiling faces. Appreciate you, Griff. Lost Kelsey, choosing between standard Higbee or likely PPR Higbee or Schultz. I'm going to go Higbee in both scenarios.
Higbee in both. Griff.
Love it. Algier or Swift. Algier is probably an afterthought at this point. Swift for the mega upside.
Let's go Swift.
Claire, 10-team half PPR. Do I pivot off Ramondre playing the team with Zeke, or I could play Lockett, Dotson, Deontay in the flex? Am I overthinking Ramondre, who's projected the highest?
That's a great question, Claire. You have some really, really good options with Lockett, Dotson, and Deontay. All these guys are great. I would probably just still stick with Ramondre, but if you want to pivot off, I would order them Deontay, Lockett, Dotson.
I would go Lockett, Deontay, Dotson.
Okay, so maybe you play Lockett. I don't mind it. It should be a good game for Seattle.
Claire has one more here. Who do you like for a bench running back stash in a half PPR league? Algier, Bigsby, or Tucker? Have Gibbs, Saquon, Ramondre at running back. This is the name I already brought up. Tucker. Sean Tucker. I would say Tank Bigsby, but unless there's an injury to ETN, I don't see him, getting a bigger role, even though they might run more of a 2-back set. But Tucker could literally overtake the job from Rashad White. I don't think that job is safe.
Tucker could win the job. Bigsby, it's going to be a split. I think I would go Bigsby, probably just because if something were to happen to ETN, you have a stud there. Where Tucker, it's still, even if he gets the work, it's kind of a bad offense. I don't think he's going to actually. It'll be more of a split situation.
I think people are going to be disappointed by Rashad White, no matter what the scenario is. Like, I just don't see him winning people leagues this year.
Yeah,
Start week 1. Winning people. Rodgers or Love, rest of season.
Rodgers. You're starting Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's optimism for me around Jordan Love for sure. I think he's better than people give him credit for, but at the end of the day, like,
there's a lot of unknowns. And if you're in a 1 quarterback league, Love probably deserves to be on the bench or on the waivers. I mean, until we see something from him.
Mm-hmm. Flex 1, Ayuk, MT, Nico Collins, Javonte, Dion, or Jordan Addison. Wow.
I would
go Michael Thomas. As my flex. Michael Thomas, I'm going to delete because I don't know what to expect from him. Nico Collins, not good enough with the rest of these options. Man, Javonte is the best player here. Deion Jackson probably has the most opportunity. I think I would play Ayuk or Addison over either of them, though.
Yeah, I would go Ayuk. I love Addison. I'm starting him in a couple spots where I have to. I'd prefer not to start Addison. I want to wait and see. There's a lot of vacated targets in Minnesota. If he gets the same target share that Thielen got, wheels up for Jordan Addison. But at this point right now, Ayuk should be the guy you flex.
If Javonte wasn't on a snap count, I would go with Javonte, no questions asked. Deion Jackson is probably going to get a lot of work, but it could be in a very poor game script. So again, and we're trying to get away from some weather too. So, yeah, I'll go with Ayuk.
Sounds good. We got 15 minutes left. We'll get to everyone's question. Make sure to toss a like on these videos, guys. We really appreciate it. If you want to keep seeing us every single week, we got to get these likes up.
We did have Stewart pegged. He is, across the pond. So that's good. Good that the memory's working. Also picked up Zay Flowers and David Montgomery as later picks along with Godwin. So Stewart, I mean, you're off to a great start, especially if Zay Flowers hits today. You could be working some trades on that David Montgomery, or you could just really love that volume. 21 touches. You got to love that. It's so Detroit Lions. Best of luck. Bucksar TV, glad to see you guys back for another season. Should I start Waddle or Ridley in a full PPR? Projected to lose by 6 after Gibbs' upsetting performance on Thursday. I'm playing Waddle.
Waddle, my guy, especially if you need that upside. I mean, I'm excited to see Ridley back like everyone. I'm glad he's back in the league. He looked great on those videos, how quick he was getting out of those breaks, but that was practice, guy. Waddle is elite. So you got to start Waddle with confidence.
Russ or Herbert. Also, would you rather stash Deion Jackson or Zach Moss?
Deion Jackson is who you want to start.
Moss had that stash.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, stash. And you want to also start Justin Herbert, man.
Correct.
That is a high over McCain Brady. They have a great matchup against Miami this week.
There's zero reasons that make me want to start Russell Wilson this week.
No, unless you're in a 2-quarterback league, don't start Russ.
Unless you're in a 2-quarterback league and you had no quarterbacks and you had to trade for Russell Wilson. That's the only time you start him.
That was me.
It's not a 2 QB league. It's a super flex.
You know the deal's got to be good when you hate Russell Wilson, want nothing to do with him, but you trade for him just because.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Happy to be back. We're happy to have you as well, Julio. In a full PPR for the flex position, Mike Evans, Javonte Williams, Khalil Herbert, or Courtland Sutton.
Go Mike Easy Evans, my guy.
Me. Yes. Yeah. Heck yeah. Baker was rated as the most effective deep ball passer last year, and Mike Evans will really benefit from that. So we'll see.
Target the Vikings defense. As a general rule of thumb. It's a great matchup because the Vikings have a great offense and a bad defense. It's gonna be fun to watch.
2-parter here. Sit one in a full PPR. Gabe Davis, Elijah Moore, Michael Pittman, and then Carr or Howell. I'm gonna start Carr. That's an easy one for me. And then sitting one, I'm probably just gonna sit Elijah Moore, even though the sentiment around him is really strong. I gotta see it first. So I'm gonna sit him.
I agree.
Beautiful. KJ, should I pivot off Greg the leg as my... Oh, we got a kicker question? Okay. Will let's Dicker the kicker, Saunders, or Greg Joseph? Yeah.
Honestly, targeting domes is generally advisable. Saunders or Greg Joseph is where I would go there. So either one.
Minnesota at home today? I thought they were on the road. In Florida though is good weather though.
Yeah, it's either way I think it's pretty good. I don't know offhand right now.
Let me just vet that real quick. Oh, they are at home. Beautiful. Yeah, the one thing you got to know about the Vikings, I can't remember who I read this from, but the Vikings have 11 dome games this year. So, when we get into the nitty-gritty of the season, you're going to want to play Kirk Cousins, Greg Joseph, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkins. You're going to be pivoting towards these guys because of the good weather, and they don't have to deal with blizzards and super cold weather. So That's one thing that you might want to keep in mind with the Greg Joseph play season long. 11 out of 17 dome games. That's a lot.
And we've got so many leagues. There's so many leagues to be like, all right, I may have forgotten about this. Am I starting someone that's out?
I'm looking at the same thing. I'm like, oh boy, did I get everything? I'm
Uh-oh.
pretty sure I did, but I'm not sure.
It's a mess. It's a
Terry
mess.
McLaurin or Van Jefferson in a half PPR. Obviously, we want to project more for Van Jefferson with Cooper Kupp going down to the IR, but I'm going to play Terry McLaurin. I'm going to go with my stud.
Love it.
Michael Thomas or Khalil Herbert in the flex. I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert.
Love it.
Yeah.
Joey.
Start Mike Evans or Jahan Dotson. I'm starting Mike Evans.
Go Mike Evans this week. I like Jahan just like everyone else, but I want to see it first. We want to see some from Howell. Is he going to actually do what he's been doing? Might be harder than everyone makes it look.
Which defense? Denver versus Las Vegas, Pittsburgh versus San Fran, Jacksonville versus the Colts, or Atlanta versus Carolina? Jacksonville, I believe, is the favorite there for us.
I like that one too. Good call. Pick
two. Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Tyler Boyd. This is a standard league. If it's a standard league, it kind of changes my answer slightly, but I think there's nobody that really gets a lot of volume here. I would still go DJ Moore and George Pickens.
Ooh, this is going to be Lockett? Fun. I'm going Lockett and Ayuk. Good luck, my guy.
Okay. All right.
Keep it moving.
Maybe take one of
Evans or Dotson again. Yeah, we're going Mike Evans, my guy.
Got Allen and Lockett, wide receiver 1 and 2. Do I take a shot on Mike Williams at flex or go with Dalvin Cook or maybe even Javonte?
Mike Williams at the flex, my guy.
So would you want to start Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, or would you want to pivot and lessen your exposure to the Chargers? So Javonte Williams would be the play here, but the fact he's on a snap count makes me temper expectations. Dalvin Cook has gotten a nod of confidence this week and that he is going to be the quote unquote lead back. I personally have a vendetta against Mike Williams. He basically killed my chances of winning a championship in a league I should have smashed last year. So I'm going to leave my personal bias out of this and just position this one to Lando. But personally, I would go Allen, Lockett, and Dalvin Cook in the flex.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm running both Chargers wide receivers and Lockett. Should be great.
The Burns are
high
too
over
strong
the game versus Miami should be great. Both these guys are going to be good. It's going to be no problem for both those guys to pay off.
Yeah, sorry, Y2. Like the Burns over here from Mike Williams are just too fresh for me. So I'm not seeing clearly.
Back? Refresh my memory.
Pardon?
Who won that league? Sorry,
you did.
Refresh my memory.
On the back of Mike Evans, which you didn't deserve. I've got Alvin Kamara and Jonathan Taylor on my bench. Ooh, that's a tough start. Started Stevenson and Pacheco. Should I get rid of somebody here or should I keep them all in a PPR league? I think you keep them because you're never going to get somebody in return right now in a trade for a suspended or physically unable to perform player. You're just going to be giving up value. So, come week 4, week 5, when you get both of these players back and you reassess where you're at. I mean, even if you are 0-4 and you get Kamara and Taylor back, it's so probable to go with those guys healthy and getting work. It's so probable to go 4-4 by week 8 to have a winning record before the playoffs. Like most leagues, you just need a winning record, like above 500 to get in. So to be behind the 8 ball and be down 4 at worst case scenario, that's not the end of the world. I think you just kind of see how it plays out and you reassess week 5. I think that's really how you take this one. But I wouldn't be moving away from those guys or trying to trade them unless you get something really good.
The risk is that Jonathan Taylor doesn't come back and play this season. I don't expect him to do that. We haven't seen that for years. I don't think that he sits out the entire season. So I do think Jonathan Taylor comes back and plays, and you'll be in really good shape, Juan.
Question for you for my flex, Lando: Breece Hall or DeAndre Swift, Mike Evans?
You have to just one. I would go Mike Evans.
No. I have 2 flex spots: Swift,
2 flex
Evans,
spots. So I
and
would go
Hall.
Mike Evans and Breece
over DeAndre.
I think so. I don't know. I can't wait to watch that game. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what's going to happen with the Breece Hall Dalvin Cook split. It could be as frustrating as what we saw Thursday night for Gibbs and Monty. So that's the only risk. I think it's going to be a tough one.
Y2's heading to the Giants Cowboys game soon, so let's pray for some good weather. Do a rain dance while you're tailgating. Enjoy, be safe. I'd love to be in an NFL game this afternoon. So appreciate the sub and coming by, and best of luck today. Enjoy.
Yeah, good luck, everyone. We're almost done here. Pretty much everyone is answered. Congrats, Mac. Welcome back. Oh, we got Julio.
Yeah, we've got a couple more. What's the outlook on Musgrave today? I'm very optimistic for the Packers in general, even though they're not going to have full systems go. But Musgrave, we haven't really seen a tight end for the Packers take a fantasy spotlight since Robert Tonyan. So we'll see what happens with Musgrave, but they also drafted Tucker Kraft, so they could run 2 tight end sets and use
Tucker
them both.
Kraft was the first draft pick, right? Is this going to be a scenario like Hurst?
Musgrave was.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
For some reason, I thought they were. It'd be funny if it was a Hurst Andrews scenario again, but either way, it doesn't really matter. Musgrave is getting all the hype. That's the one I would want to draft in fantasy football.
I'm pretty sure Musgrave was first, but I could be wrong.
That's
Lucas Van Ness. Yeah, Musgrave was pick 42.
Okay.
Jaden Reed pick 50. Tucker Kraft pick 78. But all in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Julio, one more. I need a wide receiver: Thielen, Quentin Johnson, Slayton, or Hyatt. I would go with Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen while he's still healthy.
Went to breakfast with a girlfriend. She also wanted to run some errands, so I said, sorry, football's about to start. Women don't really want to bring their boyfriends' husbands to the grocery store anyways. So just enjoy your time by yourself, and we're going to do our thing.
All right,
so guys, enjoy the football.
Good luck this week. Football is back. Full slate of games. Hopefully y'all do well. Make sure to come back next week for another live stream. Lots of content coming out this week. Stay tuned.
Heck yeah. Best of luck. Enjoy the football, and we'll see you again. Take care.
Good luck.